trees and power lines, no match for our strong winds.
After a gusty day today, tomorrow the pick of our 7-day forecast, but after that some big changes. We'll talk about when we can expect rain and much colder air.
Riding the pine over pine tar. Major League Baseball hands down its punishment for the Yankees pitcher who tried to cheat against the Red Sox.
Plus, a warning for pet owners.
I'm out of your sidekick.
A coyote attacks, killing a dog, and it isn't the first time.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at 5 starts right now.
Breaking news tonight, Yankees pitcher Micheal Pineda will have to sit out the next 10 games. I'm Lisa Hughes in tonight for Paula.
And I'm Jonathan Elias. Good to have you along. Major League Baseball just handed down the suspension. Pineda was busted with pine tar right there on his neck last night during the Yankees-Sox game at Fenway. Dan Roach joining us live at Fenway Park. And Danny, we hear about it all the time, but we have never seen it that clearly.
Yeah, that kind of, blatant stupidity, I guess the best way to put it here, is just not acceptable when it comes to what Micheal Pineda did last night. He gets that 10-game suspension, said he will not appeal it, so he's going to start serving it tonight. And if you look at it as a starting pitcher, because he has one rotation, the Yankees also have an off day, he really only misses one start when it comes to that 10-game suspension, so it's not really that severe of a penalty that Major League Baseball has handed him down. Now, in the second inning of last night's game, a giant blotch of that pine tar appeared on Pineda's neck. Pineda also used pine tar against the Sox a few weeks ago. That time they let him slide. This time, John Farrell had no choice but to call him out on it. Today, the Sox manager was asked what he thought about the 10-game suspension.
No reaction if it was too few or too many, and nothing in terms of that. I think when a player goes down that path, you're assuming the potential consequence, and that's what's been handed down. I think there's some things, and this being one of them inside the game, that pitchers, particularly in climates like last night, that you're looking for some sort of grit. I think there are probably ways that you can be a little bit more discreet.
And I talked to David Ross, and he echoed that same sentiment. Coming up at 6 o'clock, you'll also hear Yankees manager Joe Girardi, his thoughts on the 10-game suspension as well. But I can tell you one thing, Lisa, here at the ballpark, the Red Sox players and the manager more excited than the fact that Shane Victorino is coming off the disabled list and back in that Sox lineup, and about the way John Lackey pitched tonight. They're trying to just kind of blow this whole thing over and move on. Live inside Fenway Park, I'm Dan Roach. Lisa, let's go back to you.
All right, those are two great stories. Dan, thanks. Boston and New York newspapers, though, had a field day with this. The Herald writing, stupid neck tricks. The New York papers, they weren't any kinder. The Daily News proclaiming tar wars, and the New York Post, pine nuts.
You're going to love it. Pineda says that he used the pine tar to get a better grip on the ball, but some people are saying that the league needs to get a better grip on the rules.
He's cheated and he got what he deserved.
But there's an issue here. Many commentators, players, and coaches say a lot of pitchers use something sticky on the ball, and some fans agree.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Most pitchers do it, so it's not like a crazy thing. So pitchers on the Red Sox do it too.
To hear some people tell it, even a Yankees fan, Pineda's real crime was being too obvious.
He's an idiot. I mean, it's an embarrassment to come out there and be so blatant.
In many respects, it's sort of this accepted part of the game.
Dan Leibowitz runs the Center for the Study of Sport in Society at Northeastern.
People will push the envelope to see what they can get away with in terms of winning.
But that doesn't make it right.
Accepting things that you state up front as illegal and then accepting them as a norm creates a dynamic where cheating in some respects becomes an expected part of the game or an accepted part of the game.
I don't think it's ever okay to cheat.
I think that what you take from it is that if you have a rule, then you probably should enforce that rule. The league should enforce the rule, and they should enforce it uniformly.
I think he's bum. Go Red Sox.
You know, there are some, though, that argue the anti-pine tar rule should be lifted, saying that it'll be safer for batters if there's less chance that the ball will slip from the pitcher's hand.
We have more breaking news tonight. Gusty winds making a tough job even harder for firefighters in Worcester. Jim Smith is live in Worcester tonight, where flames jump from one house there to another. Jim?
Well, Lisa, you're exactly right. The good news, we can start with that. This fire has been under control for about half an hour or so now. Was definitely touch and go earlier today with those heavy winds that you just mentioned. As you look up at the third floor here, you're dealing with a 6-unit apartment building, 3 units on each side, everyone fully evacuated. The units on the side furthest from where we are now really suffering the most damage. I talked to residents in 4 of those 6 units. Everyone apparently made it out okay. It seemed like every one of these 6 units had people inside at the time, including some people who were asleep, needed to be woken up by neighbors. One neighbor tells me, as a matter of fact, what he believes happened was that an undercover police officer happened to be just walking up the street on a routine patrol, what appeared to be the porch of a second-floor apartment, and that person, that undercover police officer, then ran into the apartment building, started banging on doors, shouting fire, helping to get people out. Again, it looks like those efforts worked perfectly well. Everybody did make it out. I'm hearing in several of the apartments there were, however, animals that had to be left behind. There was at least one rescue, we're told, of a cat brought out to its owners. Some other folks were able to get their dogs out with them, but again, I talked to a lot of residents who say at this hour there are still animals unaccounted for in this building. All the people made it out okay. The investigation as to how this started, however, is only just beginning. Live in Worcester, Jim Armstrong, WBZ News. Lisa?
All right, Jim Armstrong live for us. Thanks, Jim.
And the wind has been howling, and it's not just for a couple of minutes. It's been going on all day long, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down this evening.
Now, I want to give you a live look outside. You see that flag blowing. That's just one indication. Eric joins us now. Eric, the wind also brought some cooler temperatures.
We're back into the 50s today. This morning certainly felt chilly. The wind kind of cutting in with those 30s, and not an easy one to get outside. At least we had the sunshine during the afternoon. See some of the gusts. Brookline and Milton, higher elevations. This is at the Clay Center Observatory. This is at the Blue Hill Observatory, up about 50 miles per hour. Fall River to 46. Boston, Logan gusting to 41 miles per hour. And still this evening, 30 to 40, at times a little over 40 miles per hour. We just saw the report from Jim, 43 in Worcester, certainly not helping the firefighters out at all. Wind advisory continues here for much of the region through 7 p.m. as the gusts will continue to 45. It stays breezy all night before they slacken off by tomorrow morning. There's the culprit. Big storm spinning off to the east. Clear skies here, though, tonight. It will be a chilly one, back down through the 30s again, so it'll feel awful cool out there at Fenway Park, and certainly for tomorrow morning. But after this, good news for tomorrow. Best day of the 7-day. We'll talk about that in the weekend coming up. Jonathan?
Eric, we'll see you then. Thanks. Wicked winds knocking down trees and power lines all across our area, creating a huge mess. From Andover to Uxbridge to Bridgewater to Billerica, trees are down on roads, yards, even on homes. Ken McLeod is live in Billerica for us tonight, and it really has been a tough day out there.
Jonathan, workers have spent the past couple of hours cutting a big pine tree into sections and tossing it off of that roof right there. This is the Harvey home here on Governor Peabody Road, which got a not-so-pleasant lesson in wind power first thing this morning. The Harvey's daughter awoke to a wooden bayonet plunging into her bedroom.
That's the first thing. I was just so thankful that branch was a foot longer.
The branch was part of a big pine tree, snapped and dumped onto the house just after 8:30 this morning by a powerful wind gust.
Then all of a sudden there was a big boom, the house shook.
Karen Harvey was home when it came down and scurried over to her daughter's room.
And just thank God she was all right, and I told her to get to the back of the house because I still really didn't know what happened.
For the most part, the strong gusty wind was a nuisance for those trying to work in it and tough on the stars and stripes. But it also displayed some destructive force in Andover, taking down a tree and a pole and knocking out power to several dozen customers.
So it was just like a banging, crashing noise outside the house. We thought it was our lines being snapped, but so good to know it wasn't just us.
Back in Billerica, the Harvey family was finding out this big pine had done some serious damage, snapping support beams in several places, puncturing the roof in others, and denting up an SUV in the driveway. Their insurance guy combed through the place this afternoon, and a tree removal crew went to work, but the Harveys will be hotel guests for at least a while.
I just didn't even process the whole thing, what had just happened, and how severe it was, how bad it was.
The Harveys tell me their insurance looks good. They just remodeled their kitchen, and now, thanks to Mother Nature, they will be remodeling some other parts of their house. Live in Billerica tonight, Ken McLeod, WBZ News. Lisa, back to you.
Ken, thank you. We have some sad news tonight for the family of a missing Boston University graduate. Police are confirming that 24-year-old Eric Munsel's body has been found in Boston Harbor. Munsell was last seen in February. His body surfaced near Long Wharf just after noon yesterday. Investigators are now trying to figure out exactly how he died.
Federal safety officials now are looking into the connection between a Malden welding company and the Boston fire that killed 2 firefighters. Investigators believe sparks from a welding torch started the fire last month on Beacon Street. OSHA officials tell WBZ they are looking into D&J Ironworks to see if the company followed safety standards. Lieutenant Ed Walsh and firefighter Michael Kennedy were among the first firefighters into the building, and they were killed after a backdraft. Well, e-cigarettes are more popular than ever, but there are some big concerns about these devices.
Today, the Food and Drug Administration took the first step in making rules for selling and using them, and Dr. Mallika joins us now with more. Doctor?
So until now, the Food and Drug Administration has only had regulatory authority over cigarettes, smokeless tobacco, and roll-your-own tobacco. Today, the FDA announced a new proposal to begin regulating not only pipe tobacco and cigars, but electronic cigarettes as well. The founder of e-cigarette maker Rejuve says the devices are safer than tobacco cigarettes.
This is a great product for people who are addicted to smoking, who just can't live without it.
But experts say that's not a fair claim at this point.
Regulation is critically needed with a product like e-cigarettes.
Hillel Alpert of the Harvard School of Public Health studies the effects of tobacco products. He says until we know more about the potential benefits and harms of e-cigarettes, their sale and distribution should be controlled.
Regulatory authorities and public health authorities are in better position to navigate what's good for the public health than the market left on its own.
So the FDA is stepping in, saying too little is known about these nicotine delivery devices to allow them to be marketed freely to the public.
It's like the Wild Wild West. Companies can do anything that they want. We need to understand a lot more about how they're being used and what are the risks and potential benefits of e-cigarettes.
The FDA is proposing several new regulations. It would prohibit the sale of e-cigarettes to anyone under 18. They would be banned from vending machines, and they would carry a warning label that nicotine is addictive. Another concern is that e-cigarettes sometimes come in cool packaging with tantalizing flavors that may be attractive to children and teens.
There's no reason to have a bubblegum, watermelon, e-cigarette. It's the 31 flavors of getting kids addicted to nicotine.
Well, the FDA stopped short of banning fruit flavors and other sweeteners that might appeal to young people, which has disappointed some anti-smoking advocates. Some also believe that the FDA should have taken action months ago, and it could take a year or more for the new regulations to go into effect. And they anticipate that the business is going to be $1 billion business later this year.
Wow. Now, obviously, they're concerned about young people, but do a lot of kids use these products?
So the CDC actually looked at that last fall, and they found that the number of middle schoolers and high schoolers who had tried e-cigarettes had doubled to about 2 million.
Wow. And
So kids are trying them.
And they were worried about Joe Camel, huh? Dr. Mallika Marshall, thank you very much. Coming up for us, a coyote on the attack on the South Shore, the warning from a grieving dog owner.
And Wegmans is about to open in Chestnut Hill, what that means for shoppers and drivers.
3 American doctors killed in Afghanistan. Coming up next at 5, new details on the Afghan security officer who opened fire.
One of the largest real estate firms in New England is roaring into the market with a brand new name. Lair Realty Partners.
Brakes are designed to squeak when they start to go bad. So if your brakes sound annoying, like this, then it's time to get your brakes inspected.
Come into your local Mallika today for 50% off brake pads and shoes.
Toyota is #1 in value, but it gets better. Because we give you all new stylish Toyotas. Better yet, we give you great deals with the Toyota Gifts of Spring Savings Event. Receive the lowest ever lease on Camry, the most dependable midsize car, for only $158 a month with no cost maintenance included. Or get best ever 0 for 60 plus $750 bonus cash on Camry. Hurry, on May 5th, Gifts of Spring will be wrapped up. Toyota, let's go places.
It's made with wholesome ingredients. It tastes great and it's competitively priced. That's H&K approved. Hearth & Kettle's 3-part approval process ensures that every meal coming out of our kitchens meets high standards for quality, taste, and value. Many of our ingredients are organic or all natural and free of hormones, antibiotics, and artificial preservatives. Wholesome ingredients, great taste, competitively priced. That's H&K approved. Hearth & Kettle in Hyannis, Yarmouth, Orleans, Plymouth, and Weymouth.
Let's do it.
Which of you has the more powerful engine? Okay. I also want heated and cooled front seats. It has to be standard. Do you have that?
It's clear, right?
Definitely.
When you're looking for a luxury SUV, make sure you ask the right questions. Visit your Lincoln showroom today. Release the powerful 2014 Lincoln MKX for $389 a month.
Don't miss the Bach Honda Spring into a Honda sales event at one of our 2 great locations. Bach Honda on the Auto Mile, Route 1 in Norwood, or Bach Honda West on Littleton Road in Westford, Mass. Drive home a brand new Honda CR-V for just $99 per month. That's right, lease a brand new Honda CR-V for only $99 per month. 2 great Bach Honda locations, 1 legendary low Bach Honda price.
Brakes are designed to squeak when they start to go back. So if your brakes sound annoying, like this, then it's time to get your brakes inspected.
Come into your local Mallika today for 50% off brake pads and shoes.
Today, the very person who was supposed to protect people at a hospital in Afghanistan opened fire, killing 3 American doctors and wounding a nurse. And as Tina Krause shows us, the shooter was a security officer who'd been hired to guard the hospital.
Police stand guard outside a hospital in Kabul where a security officer shot and killed 3 Americans. Officials say a U.S. pediatrician came to the gates to meet with a group of doctors when the officer gunned them down. Chicago doctor Jerry Umanos is one of the victims. His colleagues at Mondale Christian Health Center spoke about the tragedy.
This loss is a great loss for his family, for those of us he worked with, as well as for the people of Afghanistan.
Afghanistan's Minister of Health calls it a brutal attack. She says a U.S. nurse was also injured in the gunfire. The gunman was wounded during the attack and is in custody.
The police has arrested the attacker as well, so we will investigate to find out the motives behind this attack.
The hospital is one of Afghanistan's leading children's medical centers. A U.S. Christian charity funds it. The guard reportedly worked there for 2 years. This is just the latest in a string of attacks against Westerners in Afghanistan. Militants have killed more than a dozen foreigners since the year began, including 2 journalists. Tina Krause, CBS News.
Security in the Afghan capital has deteriorated since the start of this year. Afghans are choosing a new president, and U.S. forces are preparing now to leave the country.
Australian officials say a Quincy-made submarine has found nothing of interest in the search for the missing Malaysian Flight 370. That sub has scanned more than 90% of the search area. Authorities say the next steps will be to decide what to do next week, but it'll likely include more high-powered sonar equipment moving in. A piece of sheet metal found on an Australian beach earlier this week is not connected to Flight 370. President Obama says Russia could face new sanctions if it does not pull back in the Ukraine. Right now, the president is in Japan, but the crisis in Ukraine is on his mind. He says Russia has failed to stick to last week's Geneva agreement aimed at easing tensions in eastern Ukraine between nationalists and pro-Russian separatists.
So far, at least, they have not chosen the wise path. And over the medium and long term, this is going to hurt Russia as much as it hurts Ukraine.
And we now have seen new violence in eastern Ukraine. Government troops killed as many as 5 pro-Moscow separatists at checkpoints in a town controlled by pro-Russian forces.
President Obama reportedly helped pay for his aunt's funeral in Boston. Setuni Onyango died earlier this month at a South Boston nursing home. The New York Times is now reporting that the president sent a condolence note and helped cover some of the funeral expenses, but the president did not attend her service.
Well, if you got outside today and you had a hat on, you probably said goodbye to that hat a long time ago.
Oh my gosh, there were white caps on the truck. That was really something.
Yeah, not easy for the crew teams out there today.
Not so much.
No way. And the wind is going to keep on going this evening and into tonight, so it's just a long extended period of the weather pattern is a bit stuck. You see our weather bug camera. It's shaking there for the rubber match at Fenway Park, gusting over 30 miles per hour, and just like last night, blowing out to right field. So Big Poppy, if you're watching tonight, pull the ball. You want that out around pesky pole. Fenway forecasts will be in the 50s for first pitch at 7:10. We'll fall back into the upper 40s by the end of the game, but that wind will make it feel significantly colder. I would prepare for a chilly night, especially once the sun goes down. Timing out the winds, 30 to 45 mile per hour gusts this evening. Heading toward midnight, it's still 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts. By tomorrow morning, we're just going to call it breezy. Still some wind out there out of the northwest. 10 to 20, though, a little bit more reasonable. I think you'll feel it most across Cape Cod and the islands. And then as we head into the day, much lighter winds as high pressure crests over the area, and that tight gradient in pressure, it all decreases. So tonight, clear, gusty, temperatures 31 to 36 in the suburbs, 40 in the city. But with that chill, the fact that it's now late April, Weather Service has put out their first frost advisories of the season so far. southern Plymouth and Bristol counties. If you have anything outside that's just tender vegetation, stuff that does not like frost and would not survive, you want to make sure it's covered up or brought in for tonight. And as we get later on in the season, those advisories will move their way northward. It's not that it'll be colder there, it's just that growing season has started a little bit earlier there. In terms of the storm that we've been watching, creating all the wind, you see it swirling off to our east. All clear skies around here. Our next weather maker is out toward the Great Lakes. You see some rain showers out toward Wisconsin and into Iowa. And that's going to be a rainmaker for us as we head into Friday night. Before we get there, a great day tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day of the forecast. I promise you, you want to get outside. Will be a sea breeze around Scituate and Mashpee, so looking at low to mid-50s. As you work your way inland, we'll be up into the 60s, even across some of the higher terrain tomorrow afternoon, and about 63 in Salem. Boston 59, then falling back through the 50s in the afternoon as that sea breeze develops. But a lot of sunshine, a really nice Friday. It is the pick of the forecast, trust me. Into tomorrow night, evening plans, the clouds will be moving in, but we stay dry. Rain doesn't arrive around here until late Friday night and into Saturday morning, and it will come down heavily at times for Saturday morning. It looks like a pretty good soaker. And then as we head toward the afternoon, there may be a little lull. Then we're going to get more showers rotating through as we head toward the evening and overnight, and maybe even some thunder. I couldn't rule out the chance of a couple snowflakes in the higher terrain on Saturday. Temperatures staying in the 40s, and as we head towards Sunday, there might be a pop-up shower or two. Mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 50s, but definitely the drier of the 2 weekend days in our forecast. Here's your AccuWeather 7-day. We head toward Monday, and that looks pretty reasonable. Good day to get outside in the 50s, lots of sunshine. Clouds start to approach on Tuesday, and the Tuesday through Saturday stretch looks to feature all 40s, increasing chances of rain, a very cool end to April, and certainly a very chilly start to May. We'll talk more about the pattern there, what's involved, and when it might move out coming up next half hour. Jonathan?
Eric, we'll see you then. Thank you. You know, it's getting a bit easier to get information about the T. You can now find and get real-time arrival information for buses, as well as red, orange, and blue line trains on the T's website. Next month, crews will install updated maps on all buses and trains, and you'll soon be able to see more countdown clocks at bus terminals. Now, they have this in other cities. Now we'll have it. They're slated to come to Harvard, Haymarket, Kenmore, and Central Square stations, and it is very helpful when you're waiting for a train or a bus.
Yeah, you can plan your day and your time a little better. Well, tonight, an important recall for new parents.
Yeah, still to come for us, the problem with hundreds of thousands of baby monitors.
And drivers, be warned, a new store is opening in Chestnut Hill, and if its history elsewhere is any indication, this could lead to gridlock. Now here's a look at what's coming up at 6.
New at 6, a daycare ordered to shut down. What the owner was doing to get children to sleep, they caused workers to blow the whistle.
Their breathing could possibly have been restricted.
And what state inspectors found during a surprise inspection that raised even more alarm.
You may have donated, thinking you were helping local veterans. But some say
their staff, they don't run any programs for veterans.
And the I-teams aren't. The states even order them to stop asking for cash.
They're taking advantage of people that you don't take advantage of.
So who's behind this charity? And where's your money going?
There's no room for it. There's too many people that are doing good work.
Before you give another dime, the I-team gets answers tonight on WBZ News at 11. The Toyota Gifts of Spring Savings Event. Receive a $219 a month lease on an Avalon with no cost maintenance included. The Gifts of Spring will be wrapped up May 5th. Toyota, let's go places.
Remember her on Mother's Day. Emerald's the May gemstone. The Jewelry Exchange has diamond and emerald pendants for $59, rings $149, 1-carat 3-stone rings and studs are $599, 2-carat $19.90. Factory Direct, the Jewelry Exchange in Sudbury.
Traditions are alive and well in the north end of Boston, like coming home for Prince Spaghetti Day. For over 100 years, Prince and families like Anthony's have been making great pasta and wonderful memories. So come home to the pasta that was born in Boston. Come home to Prince, especially on Wednesday, Prince Spaghetti Day.
Looks can be deceiving. It's certainly true with furniture. Two items may appear to be the same, but are they? At Boston Interiors, all of the upholstered furniture is made in America. Each piece is crafted with high-grade American hardwood, reinforced block corners, and eco-friendly materials. So when you shop at Boston Interiors, you buy furniture that's great-looking and long-lasting. Visit Boston Interiors today and save during our spring home sale. The smarter you are about furniture, the more you'll love Boston Interiors.
Honda Civic.
It's the most durable, longest-lasting car in its class.
Can I stay in touch?
Bluetooth and text message reader come standard.
Does it rock?
Pandora compatibility, standard.
Where am I?
The Honda sales event of your dreams.
This is not a drill. Get a great deal during the Spring Into a Honda sales event. Now at your Honda dealer.
The food lover's paradise that is Wegmans is about to open its doors in Chestnut Hill, and expect scenes like this. This is the Northborough Wegmans, and it has been packed since it opened 2 years ago. The company's owners are hoping for the same success at the new Route 9 location.
But along with success, as we know, comes traffic, and as Michelle Roberts shows us, there could be a lot of it.
Route 9 drivers are being warned. A new market opens on Sunday, so expect delays.
We plan ahead for every store opening because we know there's a lot of interest from customers who want to be there on opening day.
Joe Natelli says the first few weeks will be packed. Wegmans opens its doors on Sunday on Route 9 right across the street from the Chestnut Hill Mall. Crews are putting the finishing touches on the massive store. Soon shoppers will be able to pick up some chicken wings, lobster, and fresh bread all in the same aisle. But it may take a while to navigate the already crowded Route 9.
Coming off the heels of the marathon, we wanted to make sure that people were prepared for any anticipated traffic delays they may encounter.
The grocery chain is working with Newton, Brookline, and state police to direct traffic and get the word out to pack your patience along with your shopping list.
Definitely worth it.
In Chestnut Hill, Michelle Roberts, WBZ News.
And the Wegmans in Burlington will be opening in the fall. You can look for a store in Westwood sometime next year. Right now, there's no word on when the Fenway location will be opening up.
Parents, an important recall to tell you about tonight. There are some problems with a popular baby monitor. The brand is Summer Infant, and the problem involves the rechargeable batteries on 15 of the company's monitors. Summer Infant says the recall involves 800,000 batteries. Customers have reported overheated and ruptured batteries on monitors that were sold between 2010 and 2012. If you have one of these, replace the batteries immediately and contact Summer Infant for a replacement.
The massive General Motors recall has nearly wiped out the automaker's first quarter profits. It will cost the company $1.3 billion to fix the ignition problem. That does drop GM's profit to $125 million, which is 86% lower than last year. But despite the recall, GM sales are still up.
A Hamilton home up in flames.
The local police officer knew just what to do. The rescue that saved 2 lives.
2 popes about to become saints. Why this weekend's historic ceremonies could tell us more about Pope Francis than either of the men being canonized. Plus, a family's warning to other residents after a coyote jumps this fence and attacks their dog.
I'm David Wade.
I'm Kate Merrill. Tomorrow morning on WBZ, the website helping you track down the fashions you want, saving money and time. A weekend traffic alert where you'll want to avoid.
And a wet weekend forecast. It's tomorrow starting at 4:30.
Congratulations to all the runners. Together, we finished the race. WBZ-TV, proud to be your official home for the Boston Marathon.
Today's weather on WBZ is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers.
The all-new Chevy Silverado, from the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. The truck that beats any Ford F-150 in fuel economy, and the 2014 North American Truck of the Year. And now, during Chevy Truck Month, the price you see is the price you pay for a 2014 Chevy Silverado. Now, current non-GM lessees can lease this all-new 2014 Silverado for just $269 a month.
Visit your New England Chevy dealer.
I was impressed with how many great reviews they had.
What makes CertaPro different is that our people really care about making our customers happy.
They asked what they could do to make painting an extraordinary experience for us. And they kept the gate latched.
We worked through a personalized written certainty pledge.
CertaPro painters did a wonderful job. They respected our lifestyle and our home.
It's about 5-star craftsmanship and having truly satisfied customers. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. CertaPro Painters, because painting is personal.
Tonight's primetime lineup is brought to you by the all-new 2014 Jeep Cherokee. Hurry to your local dealer now during the Jeep award season for great deals on the entire Jeep lineup.
Discover more thrills than ever before on over 4,500 big hitting slots. From the games you know and love, to the newest titles, and all the winning you can imagine. For a limited time, bring a hard copy of your recent Connecticut bonus play offer to Twin River. And when you join the Rewards Club, Twin River will match your offer with up to $400 in bonus play. Only at Twin River Casino. So much more, so close.
Boston's must-see dance event of the season is Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. Don't miss the world's most popular dance company at the Cityway Theater. May 1st through 4th only. For tickets, visit citycenter.org.
The Toyota Gifts of Spring Savings Event. Receive the lowest lease on an all-wheel drive Venza for just $178 a month with no cost maintenance included. The Gifts of Spring will be wrapped up May 5th. Toyota, let's go places.
Top stories at 5:30. Yankees pitcher Micheal Pineda suspended for 10 games. Major League Baseball handed down the punishment late this afternoon. Last night, during a game at Fenway, umpires caught Pineda using pine tar while he was on the mound.
Well, at Fenway Park tonight, the wind will be blowing out to right field, still very gusty. In fact, take a look at some of the damage around the area. Some big trees coming down with gusts of 50. Let you know when these will finally calm down and we can enjoy a day outside.
And a Quincy woman heartbroken after a coyote attacks and kills her beloved dog. The woman's son actually saw this coyote jump right over the backyard fence, getting into their yard, and reached their pet coyote. They had a pet chihuahua, and the coyote got it.
Tonight, police are warning people in that area to be especially careful, and Beth Germano has our story.
As I went and looked, I said, oh my God.
Marjorie Christiani showing the size of the beast that held her beloved Chihuahua Cheech in its teeth.
With the dog in his mouth, and I'm going, let it go, let it go.
This coyote come around the corner from here.
Her son Anthony says the coyote scaled the 5-foot fence as Cheech was put outside for just a few minutes before bedtime Wednesday night. And when Marjorie looked out the window,
he just looked at me like defiant.
A defiant animal she witnessed running up the street after snatching and killing her longtime companion.
He's not just a dog. He's a member of my family.
Cheech was a gift from Marjorie's son when she lost her husband 13 years ago.
It was horrifying. And having to sit, my mother had to sit there while my dog was in a coyote's mouth like a rag doll, as she put it. It's been disheartening, to say the least.
A friend of Anthony's found the remains, and he believes he came face to face with the same coyote after the attack.
Right in that corner over there, he was standing, looking at me, and it was probably the size of a small German Shepherd.
It's the second coyote attack on a small animal in the last few weeks, which has police now warning residents to be careful with their pets, especially at night.
With coyotes, there are a lot of them now, and now they're encroaching on populated spaces.
And leaving a sudden emptiness in this Quincy home.
And I went upstairs, and I went in my bedroom, and it seemed funny because he wasn't there. You know, usually he's in his little bed.
The dog no match for the predator on the loose. In Quincy, Beth Germano, WBZ News.
Quincy police say the number of reports of coyotes in the past few years has been going up. To people in the area, they say, keep your garbage cans covered, and if you can, feed your pets indoors.
Haverhill police now stepping up patrols because in the past 2 weeks, at least 6 women walking through Monument Square reported seeing a man exposing himself. He actually tried to grab 2 of the women. Witnesses say the guy is in his 40s or 50s. He has salt and pepper hair. He has a beard as well. He's about 5'7" to 5'9". Sometimes he's wearing a ski mask. If you see anybody like this, Haverhill police would like to hear from you.
Defense experts will be allowed to examine the body of little Jeremiah Oliver. Last week, investigators found the 5-year-old boy's remains off a highway in Sterling. Jeremiah hadn't been seen since September. Both the boy's mother and her boyfriend are facing charges in his disappearance. A judge now says the defense has until Monday to complete an examination of the body. After that, it will be released for the funeral. Governor Patrick just signed a bill making the state's anti-bullying law even tougher and extending its protection to LGBT students and students with disabilities. The new law requires schools to report bullying to education officials and to lawmakers.
The New Hampshire State Attorney General has released a scathing report on State Representative David Campbell, who has just announced that he will not seek re-election. It was in December the Democrat from Nashua hit and killed 5 ducks outside the Crown Plaza Hotel. He has since apologized, and he paid almost $700 in fines. But the Attorney General says that Campbell wasn't entirely truthful in his statements about the incident and that he refused to cooperate.
John Kerry is heading back to his alma mater. The Secretary of State will deliver the commencement address at Boston College on May 19th. Kerry earned a law degree from BC in 1976, and during this year's commencement, he will receive an honorary degree.
For the first time ever, the Vatican will canonize 2 popes this Sunday in St. Peter's Square.
Our Paula Eben is on her way to Rome right now, and tonight she explains why this historic event also tells us a lot about Pope Francis.
In the Eternal City, a centuries-old ceremony, Pope Francis will canonize 2 popes, John the 23rd and John Paul II, new saints of the Roman Catholic Church.
I think it will be a very joyful, very spontaneous, very happy celebration.
Karol Wojtyła became John Paul. Monsignor Anthony Charnecki, pastor of the oldest Polish-American church in New England, knew him for decades, beginning in Poland. How will you feel when you're sitting in St. Peter's Square watching your friend be named a saint?
Well, I'll be praying to him, praying to God through his intercession on many issues, personal, church, my parish, and enjoying that moment, which probably will never again would happen in my life.
To tell everyone that the Pope is your friend.
The charismatic, globe-trotting Pope who befriended Boston in 1979 visited more countries than any other Pope. He opened dialogues with Jews and Muslims and is credited with helping to bring about the downfall of communism. Pope John the 23rd was Angelo Roncalli. This is a building named for him on the campus at Boston College. A wildly popular, jolly Italian, he phased out the Latin Mass with the Second Vatican Council in the 60s and drove the church to embrace the modern age.
Both popes were a little different, or quite different from one another, but they have the same message. They did it differently, but the same enthusiasm, courage, and hope.
I think every canonization is a way for a pope to communicate a message.
Religious historian BC professor Kathy Mooney specializes in saints. She says this dual canonization of 2 men, one seen as more liberal, one more conservative, is a not-so-subtle message from Pope Francis.
It's not a subtle message. It's a very political message. He sees a church that's been divided in many ways. Catholics disagree with each other about a lot of issues.
What most Catholics do agree on is the star power of Pope Francis, who in his humble style insists on a toned-down celebration.
He wants to simplify things. He even looks at the cost of these canonizations and has said quite explicitly that they cost too much.
And now that a Vatican official has announced the retired Pope Benedict will be there,
to have 2 popes who are alive together while 2 popes are being canonized is definitely going to be a first.
and could make for a uniquely historic moment. Paula Eben, WBZ News.
And you'll be able to watch Paula's reports live from Vatican City starting tomorrow night on WBZ News at 5.
A veteran police sergeant makes a daring rescue. Her quick thinking and who she thinks is the real hero as a house goes up in flames. Plus,
a thoroughbred racehorse named Wicked Strong is about to compete in the Kentucky Derby. Now, if he wins, that will mean big money for the One Fund back home here in Boston.
There's always a reason for a makeover. Because my ex keyed my car.
Because a tree hit my car.
But most importantly, because we're having our biggest overall paint sale of the year. Paint makeovers as low as $4.99. Mako, America's Body Shop.
Excuse me, do your dentures come with a guarantee?
Guarantee?
No.
Okay, hold it. Let's try something new.
Mr. Stevens, your dentures are completely guaranteed.
Really?
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 Wow. Aspen Dental is doing whatever it takes to give America a healthy mouth. Like guaranteeing your dentures or your money back. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL because your mouth is our mission. Toyota is #1 in value, but it gets better. Because we give you all new stylish Toyotas. Better yet, we give you great deals with the Toyota Gifts of Spring Savings Event. Receive our lowest $178 a month lease on an all-wheel drive RAV4 with no cost maintenance included. Or get 0 for 60 plus $500 bonus cash on Sienna, including all-wheel drive models. Hurry, on May 5th, gift gifts of spring will be wrapped up. Toyota, let's go places.
I'm a frequent flyer, but it feels like I never get to go where I actually want to go. But when I finally do get to cash in, go somewhere new and exciting, I get shut out. No flying this weekend. Plans? Ruined. I should be able to fly whenever I want, right? You know, someone should really do something about that.
JetBlue's True Blue loyalty program. No blackout dates and points that never expire.
Of all the sights that bring people to Massachusetts, none compares to the faces of the people you meet along the way. Massachusetts. It's a welcome sight.
Hi, I'm Roberto Nicoli. People always ask me, what is the Nicolot difference? When it comes to product, homeowners want the best.
It lasts. It looks like the day it was laid down.
This is a Nicolot, this is a competitive brand. See the difference in the intensity of the color.
And the color went all the way through.
We apply a protective surface and eliminate all the pitfalls that other brands may have. That will not happen with a paper-shield product. They can be confident it's the best product they can possibly buy. See the Nicolot difference.
For more information, visit nicolock.com/TV2.
There's always a reason for a makeover.
Because my ex keyed my car.
Because a tree hit my car.
But most importantly, because we're having our biggest overall paint sale of the year. Paint makeovers as low as $4.99. Mako, America's Body Shop. WBZ News is sponsored by Sleepy's, the mattress professionals.
Well, you talk about quick thinking here. A veteran police officer is a lifesaver.
She helped 2 people escape a fast-moving house fire in Hamilton. Arbery Season spoke to the sergeant who risked her own life racing into a burning home.
When you're going into the house, what are you thinking about?
I don't want to be going in. Please come on. Yeah.
When Sergeant Karen Wallace arrived on Savoy Road, she found herself negotiating with an elderly man inside the front door.
I had to escort him out of the house, brought him out. While I was speaking to him, I noticed up the stairwell, as the house was filling with smoke, an elderly woman pacing back and forth.
Now unable to get the woman to come down without her shoes, Sergeant Wallace had to go back inside and upstairs.
People can be very emotional, attached to their residents. You certainly understand that.
Firefighters arrived soon after and doused flames coming from a mattress. No major damage was done to the home, and the couple, along with a 5-year-old and his mother, also made it out without injury thanks to a brave sergeant. The state fire marshal is helping Hamilton investigate the cause of the fire. As for Sergeant Wallace, like many cops often do, she's giving credit to someone else. She says the real hero is the 5-year-old boy who was inside the house, smelled the smoke, and woke up his mother, who then called for help. In Hamilton, Bree Season, WBZ News.
Tonight, investigators say improper disposal of a cigarette may be to blame for a fire in Winchester. This fire started in the rear of the building on Lewis Road around 5 o'clock this morning. Several units sustained serious damage.
Fast and wicked strong. When we come back, the New England horse getting ready to compete in the Kentucky Derby and help people here at home.
Speaking of wicked strong, how about the winds out there today, gusting to 50 miles per hour? They'll calm down tonight. We've got the timeline we can expect this weekend.
And as we head to break, here's a quick look at what's hot tonight on CBSBoston.com. That's our website. Come give it a visit. Back right after this.
President Obama wanted to speak to Boston before the marathon. He turned to WBZ's Lisa Hughes.
Mr. President, what do you want to say to the people of Boston?
I want to just say how proud I am of the entire city.
For an exclusive one-on-one at the White House.
Why was it so personal for you?
The resilience that was on display in the city, I think, made it very personal for people all across the country.
Lisa Hughes, part of the team you know you can trust. We are WBZ News.
Real people, steel people. They just won't compromise. Steel trimmers start at just $129.95. Visit steeldealers.com.
I like this
Honda CR-V.
We've got great deals during the Spring Into a Honda sales event.
Slow down, hotshot.
The CR-V has a rear-view camera, Bluetooth, Pandora compatibility, all standard.
Is that it?
And the CR-V is the most durable in its class.
Are those McPherson struts?
Indeed.
Nice work, Smith.
This is not a drill. Get a great deal during the Spring Into a Honda sales event. Now at your Honda dealer.
It's a fast-paced world. I love it. Everything at your fingertips. You save time and money. I love to shop around. But insurance? You may think you're getting more, but actually, you could be settling for less. That's why I went to TrustedChoice.com. I found the perfect local Massachusetts independent insurance agent who saved me a bundle on my bundle. A protection plan to meet my needs at the best possible price.
Representing Arbella Insurance Group.
Finally, somebody who loves to shop around as much as I do.
It's Bernie and Phil's Triple Play. And you get it free right away. Don't wait. Enjoy the furniture today and take your choice of free tax, free delivery, free interest until 2017. Best of all, there is no minimum, no money down, and no waiting.
The Triple Play. Get it today.
But only for a limited time at
Bernie and Phil. Quality, comfort, and price. That's nice.
Toyota is #1 in value, but it gets better. Because we give you all new stylish Toyotas. Better yet, we give you great deals with the Toyota Gifts of Spring Savings Event. Receive a lowest lease on an all-wheel drive Venza for just $178 a month with no cost maintenance included. Or get an all-wheel drive Venza with 0 for 60. Hurry, on May 5th, Gifts of Spring will be wrapped up. Toyota, let's go places.
I went to the home center and got a quote for a new hardwood floor. Sounded good. Then National Floors Direct beat their price by 15% on the spot.
At National Floors Direct, we'll beat anyone's price by 15% or it's free. Call 888-400-FLOOR for a free estimate.
Real people, steel people. They just won't compromise. Steel trimmers start at just $129.95. Visit SteelDealers.com. CBS Money Watch Stock Update is brought to you by the Massachusetts State University System.
Kind of scary how fast time is going by.
Yes.
Literally, we're just a little more than a week away from the Kentucky Derby, the fastest 2 minutes in sports.
A week from Saturday, a horse with New England flair is going to be running for the roses and raising money for the One Fund. And tonight, Paul Burton takes a closer look at Wicked Strong.
Coming down the stretch, he's a wicked awesome sight to behold.
We wanted a forceful name, something exciting.
Which is why racehorse owner Donald Little Jr. named this 1,200-pound thoroughbred racehorse Wicked Strong.
Right after, we had the tragedy for the marathon last year, and instantly I thought of Boston Strong, and that had already been taken by another stable out of New Hampshire.
But Wicked Strong, which also has a New England tone to it, was born. Don, who runs Centennial Farms in Ipswich, is very proud of all of his horses. But Wicked Strong, training here at Belmont Park in New York, is something special. On May 3rd, Wicked Strong will compete in the Kentucky Derby. If he wins, Centennial Farms says they'll donate nearly $70,000 to the One Fund.
Naming him after the tragedy last year, we felt that, and all the partners felt that we needed to give back.
And Wicked Strong is already coming off a big win at the Wood Memorial, in which Centennial Farms already donated $7,000 to the One Fund. Now, Wicked Strong is ranked 4th in the Kentucky Derby. So what do you think Wicked Strong's chances are of winning?
Well, if he can duplicate his effort in the Wood, he should have a very good chance.
Centennial Farms has many successful champion horses.
This is the first horse we've had as an entrant into the Kentucky Derby. It's very exciting. It's what you dream about. It's like being the owner of a professional sports franchise, and we're going to the playoffs. And there's 20 horses we have to compete against, but it's a very special moment.
A wicked special moment. In Ipswich, I'm Paul Burton, WBZ News.
Now, another local horse is also going to be running in the Kentucky Derby. Cheetah is owned by the North Andover-based Tanma Corporation. He is the Sunland Derby winner and has won 3 of his 4 career races.
can't wait for the person to call the race. Wicked strong around the go. He's got to adopt the accent that goes with the horse.
Absolutely, and that will just bring more luck.
What we need is a little luck in the weather department for this wind to die down. Just turn the valve down and shuts off the wind.
Yeah, it's definitely on course here to make a bit of a headache for the Yankees-Red Sox game tonight, Eric.
Yeah, out to right field again, just like last night. Katie Brace just sent out a picture on Twitter I retweeted that showed a tree coming down on Charles Street there, some damage on some property. 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts across the region. It's been that way all day at times, up to 50 miles per hour. And so at Fenway Park tonight, 50s to start. It's going to be nice and bright. As the sun goes down, temperatures fall into the upper 40s. With that wind, it'll be awful chilly out there in the stands, so go prepared. Wind advisory out here from southern New Hampshire and across much of the region through 7 o'clock this evening. Gusts up to 45 miles per hour. We've seen a few trees coming down, certainly some issues. Just be careful as you're out and about outside. Now, eventually, they'll calm down, especially after midnight tonight. Clear skies back through the 30s, even some 20s in southern New Hampshire and perhaps some of the more sheltered valleys of central Massachusetts. And there is a frost advisory out. They have deemed that the growing season has begun here, the National Weather Service, in southern Plymouth and Bristol counties. If you have any tender vegetation, you want to cover it up or bring it on inside. Not unusual. It is the time of year for that sort of thing. There's a storm off to our east, spinning away. That's creating a lot of the wind. Clear skies here at home. They'll stay clear tonight and for most of the day tomorrow. This is the next system we're going to watch. That rolls in for late tomorrow night and into Saturday morning. So tomorrow we're off to the chilly start, but lots of sunshine. It is going to be a perfect day. Great way to get outside. Best of the 7-day. Way up in the 50s at midday. Less wind and around 60 degrees, if not the lower 60s in the afternoon. However, at the coast, there will be a sea breeze falling back through the 50s, even some 40s by the end of the day. Now, in terms of our next storm, as we head through Friday night, the clouds will increase, and by Saturday morning, the rain is here. And this looks like a pretty good soaking that comes through. Good sleep in morning. Not a great one for a lot of baseball, soccer games that may be going on. Then as we head toward the evening, another little potent piece is going to wrap around, and that's going to pop up more showers, maybe some thunderstorms. And now the question, there could be a couple of snowflakes across the higher terrain in particular as we head into Saturday night. So a pretty cold system. And it's going to sit and spin and be in no particular rush on Sunday. So I do think it'll stay mostly cloudy, and there may be a few more showers to contend with on the second half of the weekend. So 40s on Saturday. It's going to be a wet and pretty chilly day, maybe a couple glimpses of afternoon sun. And then on Sunday, we'll be in the 50s, again, a little bit below average. And as we head toward next week, that same storm spinning northeasterly winds on Monday will keep us cool. But as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, that wind's going to come right in off the water. And this warm front is going to sit and stall off to our south and east, which means the dreaded onshore flow all of next week, and that's going to keep us well below average. So not off to the races as we end April and kick off May. Here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Tomorrow is definitely the pick of the litter. Monday in the 50s, not bad, we'll have sunshine. Tuesday, it looks cooler. The shower threat increases by Wednesday and certainly by Thursday of next week with 40s for highs. Oof. All right, our schoolyard shout out for today. Barry visited the Pentucket Regional Middle School in West Newbury, hopefully enjoying a nice school vacation week now, and hopefully all the parents enjoying some quality time with the kids at home for a bit before they go back on Monday. They seem pretty pumped about Barry's arrival there.
Who wouldn't be?
You know what a day like this requires as a kid? Remember when you were a kid, you'll fly a kite? Man, that thing would just go to the stratosphere.
If they still fly kites, they should, right? Yeah, up at Blue Hill Observatory, they have kite flying days.
So much fun. On a day like this, you better bring some tough springs.
Just a little too windy, probably.
Thick test line.
Fishing line or something, yeah. All right, Eric, thanks. Tonight at 11 o'clock, tens of thousands of dollars raised by a local charity on behalf of war veterans. But will our men and women in uniform ever see a dime? The I-Team uncovered red flags getting the attention of top lawmakers.
What do you say to people who are thinking about contributing to this charity?
I would say think again.
The connections the I-Team found between this organization and a troubled charity banned in several states. That's tonight, only on WBZ News at 11 o'clock.
On the Health Watch this evening, traumatic brain injury patients who have a college education may have a faster recovery. Researchers found patients with a degree were 7 times more likely to be disability-free a year after their injury than patients who didn't graduate from high school. Experts say more educated people have more active brains, making them somewhat more resilient to injury. An Israeli company is creating water from thin air. They've crafted an energy-efficient air-to-water generator to create clean drinking water. The WaterGen CEO says the machine could help the estimated 780 million people who don't have access to clean water. It's already been sold to militaries in several countries.
In Japan, technology comes to life right in front of President Obama's eyes. Look at this. During a tour of Tokyo's National Museum of Emerging Science and Innovation, President Obama was greeted by Honda's humanoid robot, Asimo. And Asimo looks excited. The robot danced for the president, even challenged him to play some soccer. Mr. Obama seemed to enjoy it all, laughing and smiling through the whole thing. That'd be kind of fun, play soccer with a robot.
I think it's kind of creepy, to tell you the truth.
Dancing is creepy.
Well, some credit cards can offer great rewards if you know how to take advantage of them.
Coming up after the break, there's a new way to maximize your reward points so that you can book that dream vacation without the slightest of hassles. Now here's Jack Williams with a look at what's coming up next at 6.
Well, Jonathan and Lisa, thank you. Protecting animals from people who lose control. Coming up new on our 6 o'clock news, the tough new punishments that could become people who abuse cats and dogs. And the burglar, he certainly picked the wrong house to try to rob. The brawl with 2 residents that left the wannabe thief black and blue.
Here's your Peabody Essex Museum Arts Update. See what's on display this week. Celebrate the innovation of modern design with more than 200 examples of California's shaping material culture. Only the Peabody Essex Museum in Salem, where art and culture meet.
Diamonds, the Jewelry Exchange, is a direct diamond importer and producer. Compare this top chain store's 1-carat solitaires for $3,900 with our certified solitaires for $1,990. Also 1-carat solitaires for $990, 2-carat solitaires $1,990, 2-carat certified solitaires are $59.90, and 1-carat studs are $5.99. The Jewelry Exchange has most sizes and grades of GIA diamonds, thousands of mountings, and your diamond is while you watch. Buy Diamond and Factory Direct, the Jewelry Exchange in Sudbury.
UMass Amherst, the Commonwealth's flagship campus, we stand for progress. From the discoveries in our new life science laboratories, to our graduate work in renewable energy, to our advancements in life-saving storm tracking technology, and our mission to modernize some of the state's oldest native industries. At UMass Amherst, we don't just think about the future of Massachusetts, we help define it.
Real people, steel people. They want power, dependability, and lasting value. Now is the time to get hardworking steel equipment for homeowners and professionals, including the FS38 grass trimmer at just $129.95. Plus, get the powerful steel BR350 backpack blower at its new lower price of $349.95. Visit steeldealers.com.
Travel reward points can be great if you know how to use them, but some programs have gotten so complicated with blackout dates and online reservation systems. But as our Michelle Roberts shows us, now there are new companies popping up to help you maximize your rewards.
Taking a trip to the Far East, that was Gracie Hitchcock's dream, and she wanted to pay for it with her reward points.
You hear about all these blackout dates. I didn't want to be frustrated trying to do tickets.
So she turned to a professional instead, an award travel booker who took her points and did some mileage magic. He found her business class tickets to her dream destination.
They know all the ins and outs, and they can basically book you a ticket and make it effortless.
Airline mergers, complicated frequent flyer rules, different credit card reward programs. Companies like PointsPros.com can navigate all of that. There are about 1 of a dozen companies that specialize in maximizing rewards, and business is booming.
We have more business than we can handle. We're doing over a dozen requests a day easily.
These services generally cost between $100 and $200 per ticket. Point Pros offers this guarantee.
If we don't find an award that doesn't work for you, we don't charge anything.
Some of the companies can also help you redeem points for hotels and other travel amenities, but their biggest business is with the airlines because those programs have gotten so complicated. Michelle Roberts, WBZ News.
They really have gotten complicated. That's going to do it for us at 5 o'clock. There's much more straight ahead. The news at 6 starts now.
Restrained in their cribs. State inspectors shut down a daycare after a stunning discovery inside.
Major League Baseball takes fast action against a New York Yankee caught cheating. Did the punishment fit the crime? We'll have reaction inside the locker room.
Strong winds take their toll.
Some big weather changes ahead as we approach the weekend. We'll talk about what you can expect and when the rain will come on down. This is Lady, just about the sweetest dog you'd ever want to meet. But is Beacon Hill prepared to do what it takes to protect her from abuse?
live from our studios in Boston. WBZ News at 6 starts right now.
Kids tucked into their beds so tightly they couldn't move. Tonight, shocking revelations about what was happening inside a daycare. I'm Jack Woody.
I'm Lisa Hughes. Workers at this daycare blew the whistle because they were afraid for the kids' safety, and the state acted fast. New Hampshire Bureau Chief Michael Rosenfield is in New Hampton, New Hampshire tonight with the story.
The license for this daycare center revoked after state officials found numerous violations here, all detailed in this report. Annie's Place, a child care center in New Hampton, forced to shut down. After a complaint came in, state officials showed up unannounced and compiled this report citing many violations.
It was concerning enough that we felt we had to take action.
Melissa Clement, the chief of New Hampshire's child care licensing unit, says the violations were so bad that kids were in danger.
Based on what we found, we felt that that was a possibility, which is why we closed the program.
Among the problems documented, the owner, Ann Micheal, accused of restraining children by wrapping them in sheets and tucking the sheets under a crib mattress so that the child was trapped underneath. When confronted by staffers that she was suffocating and restraining the children, Micheal said, quote, "I'm just training them to sleep." These techniques puzzled investigators.
Very surprised. We've never seen them before.
Other violations included yelling at children, being rough with them, restricting access to parents, using water from the diaper sink to thaw breast milk, and requiring all children of all ages to take a nap at the same time.
The provider was asking children to all take a nap between the hours of 1 and 3 p.m., which is not developmentally appropriate for children.
The daycare has been ordered to close down by the end of business on Friday. The owner can try to get her license back at a special hearing in May. In New Hampton, New Hampshire, Michael Rosenfield, WBZ News.
Breaking news tonight, he's out for 10 games. Major League Baseball suspends Yankees pitcher Micheal Pineda. The league moved fast to punish the Yankee pitcher who was caught using pine tar on the mound. Dan Roach is live at Fenway. He saw it all. Dan?
Yeah, Jack, 2 weeks ago when Micheal Pineda was caught or seen on tape using pine tar, both the Red Sox and Major League Baseball looked the other way. This time, no way. He was brazenly doing it last night here at Fenway Park, and thus he's been suspended 10 games by Major League Baseball. Let's go back and take a look at the incident last night. Second inning, Pineda had a big hunk of pine tar on his neck, easy for the whole world to see after not having it on in the first inning. John Farrell had no choice but to come out and complain to the umpire, and Pineda got ejected. Now, some fans are worried that this incident could bring some retribution to Sox pitchers, but today it didn't sound like Yankees manager Joe Girardi wants to keep this thing going.
I mean, I've moved on. I mean, obviously I got to answer the questions today, and then I will move on and go from trying to win a game tonight and then getting home and, you know, you continue to try to put a streak together.
Now, if you look at it, even though it's a 10-game suspension, he's really only going to miss one spot in the rotation. The Yankees have a day off, so he'll only miss one turn. So really just a slap in the wrist for Major League Baseball. And again, it's one of those unwritten rules in the game. A lot of players talking about it. Hey, we need these guys to have a good grip in cold weather. Everybody seems fine, rather than have a pitcher wild looking to maybe throw at the head inadvertently here at a game. So that's kind of how we look at it right now. Much more coming up in sports, but for now, inside Fenway Park, I'm Dan Roach. Jack and Lisa, let's go back to you.
All right, Danny, thanks. Breaking news in Worcester, fire causing heavy damage at an apartment building, and gusty wind helped fuel these flames. An off-duty police officer ran inside, helped everybody in that building get out safely. I'm here with our chief meteorologist, Eric Fisher, and the wind just made that situation and many others around the area a whole lot worse.
You've got a lot of wind, you have low humidity, and the fires can spread very quickly, so happy to see that everyone is safe in that instance. Take a look at some of the gusts, though. Are up around 50 miles per hour in areas. Brookline's the Clay Center Observatory. In Milton, it's the Blue Hills Observatory. It's a little bit of elevation for both. Fall River to 46, Boston Logan up to 41 miles per hour. So some big-time gusts, still very windy outside. 30 to 40 miles per hour. This is going to keep on going this evening. They really don't slacken off until we head past midnight. Here's a look at the forecast. We head toward 1 a.m., still 20 to 30, and a couple gusts possible over 30 miles per hour. By the time you wake up tomorrow, we're going to call it breezy, 10 to 20 miles per hour. I think you'll notice in most, particularly Cape Cod and the islands. By midday, finally, it's a lighter wind. Also note that it turns onshore, so sea breeze is going to be a part of the equation for tomorrow afternoon. A little cooler right along the shoreline. Tonight, 40 in the city, but low to mid-30s in the suburbs. Some patches of frost will be a chilly night, especially when you factor in that wind that will continue to blow. Tomorrow is going to be the best day of the forecast. After that, we've got some issues. We're going to talk about the weekend and a very chilly next week coming up in just a little bit. Jack?
Okay, Eric, thank you. And speaking of those high winds, a really scary picture from Mallika. The wind blew a huge tree onto a roof. One of the branches actually pierced the ceiling right into a girl's bedroom. As Ken McLeod shows us, the girl and her family are safe, thank heavens, but they have to find somewhere else to live.
A tree removal crew was sawing by mid-afternoon, but Karen Harvey was still talking about this morning.
Then all of a sudden there was a big boom, the house shook.
It was just after 8:30 when a strong wind gust snapped a big pine tree in the Harveys' yard and dumped it onto the house, stabbing one branch through the roof and into their sleeping daughter's bedroom.
That's the first thing. I was just so thankful that branch wasn't a foot longer.
And just thank God she was all right, and I told her to get to the back of the house because I still really didn't know what happened.
Elsewhere, 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts were a bit rough on Old Glory and borderline dangerous for roofers. But the wind was also destructive, knocking out power in several spots like here in Andover. Took down a utility pole. An adventure for some.
The kids came up and they were all excited, yay, power outage, because they kind of, they're kind of used to it. So, yeah, it was fun.
It was not fun back at the Harvey home in Mallika, where that pine tree splintered a fair number of support beams and damaged an SUV in the driveway. But as the chainsaws buzzed this afternoon, the Harveys are happy to be in one piece.
It just could have been a lot worse, and I'm thankful for that it's just this.
Still, the Harveys will be hotel guests for at least the next several days. They just remodeled their kitchen here, and now, thanks to Mother Nature, they will be remodeling some other parts of their house. In Mallika, Ken McLeod, WBZ News.
A Boston University graduate who vanished months ago has been found dead in Boston Harbor. Eric Munsell's body was found yesterday near Long Wharf. The 24-year-old disappeared on a Saturday night back in February after a night out with friends, and police are now investigating how he died.
The welding company blamed for starting a deadly fire in the Back Bay is under federal investigation now. OSHA says it is trying to see if the D&J Ironworks is following safety standards or putting its people at risk. OSHA already is conducting a separate investigation into the fire, which you may remember killed Lieutenant Ed Walsh and firefighter Michael Kennedy. Fire officials say sparks from a welding torch, which was being used next door, started the fire. Well, hackers are going after Children's Hospital. Over the last few days, they managed to slow down the hospital's internal websites. No patient data has been compromised. No one has claimed responsibility yet, but according to the Boston Globe, the hacker group Anonymous has promised to go after Children's Hospital because of the Justina Pelletier case. Remember, she's the teenager spending months in the hospital's psychiatric ward after Children's Hospital accused her parents of abuse.
Catholics are traveling to Rome tonight for the canonizations of Pope John Paul II and Pope John the 23rd. The two popes led the church very differently. John the 23rd was elected in 1958 and was expected to serve as a caretaker without making many changes. But in 1962, he opened Vatican II, the council that reshaped the church and modernized the celebration of Mass. He died in 1963. John Paul II became pope in 1978, making history as the first pope in centuries who was an Italian. During his 26 years, he became an advocate for human rights, and he's credited with helping to end communism. He also presided during the sexual abuse crisis in the church, and he has been criticized for not doing enough to stop it. Pope John Paul II died in 2005. Now, our Paula Evan is traveling to Rome for Sunday's canonization ceremony. Her live reports start tomorrow night on WBZ News at 5.
Coming up on WBZ News, punishing people who abuse animals. Tough new penalties could be on the way.
Also ahead, he did not expect this. A man police say broke into a home is surprised by the homeowner.
The Bruins trying to run over the Red Wings and take a commanding lead in the playoffs, but that just got a little bit harder.
And our other active sports team, the Sox, they'll be dealing with a win at Fenway Park again tonight. Well, when that dies down, and take a look at the upcoming weekend when we come back.
Don't miss the Bach Toyota Gifts at Spring Savings event.
Buck Toyota is the #1 Toyota dealer in sales in New England. Drive home a brand new Toyota Camry for just $95 per month. Come on down. That's right, lease a brand new Toyota Camry, America's best-selling automobile that gets 35 miles per gallon for only $95 per month.
It's a real estate jungle out there. That's why we've let a lion loose in your neighborhood. But there's no need to run. This lion is on your side every step of the way. Lear Realty Partners. We're one of the largest real estate firms in New England, with over 300 experienced agents, a 15-year track record, and the latest tools, roaring into the market with a brand new name, Lear Realty Partners. The roar that opens more doors.
Looks can be deceiving. It's certainly true with furniture. Two items may appear to be the same, but are they? At Boston Interiors, all of the upholstered furniture is made in America. Each piece is crafted with high-grade American hardwood, reinforced block corners, and eco-friendly materials. So when you shop at Boston Interiors, you buy furniture that's great-looking and long-lasting. Visit Boston Interiors today and save during our spring home sale. The smarter you are about furniture, the more you'll love Boston Interiors.
Really? Okay. All right.
Use the ready-to-go spreader and save time. Just turn it on and go. It makes lawn care easy.
At UMass Amherst, the Commonwealth's flagship campus, we stand for progress. From the discoveries in our new life science laboratories, to our graduate work in renewable energy, to our advancements in life-saving storm tracking technology, and our mission to modernize some of the state's oldest native industries. At UMass Amherst, we don't just think about the future of Massachusetts, we help define it.
Time to buy a Honda Accord?
We don't call it the Spring Into a Honda sales event for nothing.
What makes this Accord so special?
Rear camera, Bluetooth, Pandora compatibility, all standard.
I'm not convinced.
It's an IIHS 2014 top safety pick.
There's a bear behind you.
Way to stay on your toes, Robert.
This is not a drill. Get a great deal during the Spring Into a Honda sales event. Now, at your Honda dealer.
A man arrested for breaking into a house was beaten up so badly by the homeowner that prosecutors had to delay his arraignment. Anthony Pasco was still in rough shape today. Prosecutors say Tuesday night Pasco broke into a home in Revere, and moments later the homeowners walked in. A fight broke out. Prosecutors say Pasco ran away but was then stopped outside by the owner's nephew, and it got worse. Pasco spent that night in the hospital.
New at 6 o'clock, cracking down on people who abuse animals. You know, there are fines, there's jail time, but a lot of people think that's not enough. Now lawmakers are proposing tough new regulations because of Puppy Doe. Remember the dog who was beaten and starved? Well, John Keller joins us now, and John, that case really galvanized public outrage over animal abuse.
Yeah, it certainly did, Jack. And one result of that is a bill aimed at toughening the state's relatively weak penalties for violence against animals. The measure has 76 co-sponsors from both parties, but will the Republican political pressure be enough to get it passed? Lady! For Lady the Pit Bull and the thousands of animals victimized annually in Massachusetts, the so-called PAWS Act is Beacon Hill's biggest effort in years to protect them from abuse.
We certainly need to address what happens when somebody does perpetrate it, but we do really, our goal is to prevent animal abuse.
I know we all can't understand how anybody could abuse or neglect a pet, especially what happened with Puppy Doe.
It's the legislative response to the notorious case of Puppy Doe, a Quincy pet whose fatal injuries spark outrage and calls for toughening the state's weak animal abuse laws.
If you're not a pet owner, you may be saying, well, what does this have to do with me? Well, animal abuse affects you in the form of criminal abuse. 70% of criminals, violent criminals, started as animal abusers.
Who would oppose this bill?
Well, you know, John, these are the kind of bills that we don't often see identified opposition to. Oftentimes, these are the things that suffer from inertia.
But TAR, the bill's lead sponsor, acknowledges that tougher penalties and expanded police powers inevitably find resistance in the defense lawyer-filled legislature.
There might be some in the defense bar that would take issue with that. But we're willing to take those issues on because we have good arguments and we have a compelling case.
Now, some of our Beacon Hill sources say there's little sign of resistance to the PAWS Act from the usual suspects who seem preoccupied right now with modifying the domestic violence reform bill. Then again, the act was filed last October and only got its public hearing today, with the end of the session and the end of the line for any bills still pending just 3 months away. Jack and Lisa will be watching.
All right, yeah, a lot of people interested in that. Thank you, John. Now to the weather. Brisk, to say the least.
Yes, this was one that felt a whole lot colder today, Eric, because of that wind.
Now, especially in the morning out the door, and temperatures in the 30s, plus the wind, not exactly comfortable, and at times destructive today. Those gusts around 50 miles per hour, bring down some trees. This big one on Bridgewater State University. NOAA sent this picture in. A lot of cleanup efforts underway. A couple of these fell down on some cars across the region, which is never a pleasant surprise when you walk back out. Now, at Fenway Park, the wind will be a factor again this evening. Still gusting over 40 miles per hour out to right field. Temperatures in the 50s at first pitch, falling back into the 40s. So maybe some pine tar out in the field. Probably not tonight. Getting a little extra grip of those chilly temperatures. I think maybe they'll lay off that for a couple of games. Wind advisory here across much of the region, southern New Hampshire through the Boston area and down into Rhode Island. That stands until 7 p.m. After that, the 45-mile-per-hour gusts should become fewer and far between, and the winds will slowly calm down overnight. Temperatures coming down as well, back through the 30s, even some 20s into some of the valleys of southern New Hampshire and central Massachusetts. 40 in the city of Boston, 43 the low in Chatham. It will be a chilly night, certainly with the wind, and in fact, there could be a little bit of frost. Weather Service put out their first frost advisory of the season today. Southern Bristol and Plymouth County, if you have any plants that are not fans of freezing temperatures, you want to make sure they are covered up or brought inside tonight. We've got clear skies, the storm providing the wind, spinning up into the Atlantic to our east. This is the next system we're watching, and that moves in late Friday night and into Saturday. Before that happens, a great end to the week. Mashpee 51, Situate up to 56. There will be a sea breeze developing, so cooler near the water for tomorrow. You get away from the water, and you've got warmer temps up to 62 in Northbridge, Princeton up to 61, Worcester a high near 60, and up above 60 for Salem and Waltham. Boston 59, but falling back toward 50 tomorrow afternoon because of that sea breeze. Anyone near the water will feel that cooling influence. Now, tomorrow evening, if you have dinner plans, no issues. But Saturday morning, I would suggest sleeping in. It will be a wet start to the day, a pretty good soaking. And this storm system will actually redevelop a coastal low as we head into Saturday evening. And this could touch off some more showers, maybe even some thunderstorms, some small hail again. Now the question Saturday night, maybe even a couple of wet snowflakes coming down with that. Won't be in a rush to move out on Sunday, still mostly cloudy, and a couple of showers should hang on. So 40s to around 50 on Saturday, certainly a cool and wet day. There should be a break between morning rain and evening showers, and then a few more of those raindrops to watch as we head into Sunday. Big story for next week, a blocked up weather pattern. We have what we call a Rex block. You see a big upside down shape there? This is going to slow down the whole weather works, and stormy weather is just going to stay put, and the cool weather will stay put around here. So our AccuWeather 7-day forecast, you can see how it pans out. Tomorrow, great. Weekend, a little suspect. Sunday, definitely the better of the two. Monday looks like a nice start to next week before the cool air really takes hold. 40s to around 50, Tuesday through Friday next week. Should see some rain by the time late Wednesday or Thursday rolls around. All right, Jack, Lisa, back to you.
Ooh, boo the Rex block, Eric.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's a new one for our vocabulary, and yay for the Red Sox.
Yeah, finally won that game against the hated Yankees. Let's take you down to Fenway Park right now at Dan Roach. I wonder what these cool temperatures are. The crowd's down, Dan?
No, the crowd is here, Jack. It's just freezing cold in here. It's a good night to use some pine tar. Just kidding. All right, the Red Sox wouldn't let Micheal Pineda do that for a second time to them last night. Back on April 10th, he clearly had it on his hands and his wrist. The Red Sox didn't say anything to the umpires, thus Major League Baseball didn't act. Last night, he showed it off again. This time, the Red Sox acted, and Pineda now has a 10-game suspension. Let's go take a look at it. Second inning of last night's game, a giant blotch of pine tar appearing on his neck. John Farrell had no choice this time but to let the umpire know that after a quick inspection, Pineda would get tossed. Today, the Sox manager was asked for his reaction to the 10-game suspension.
No reaction if it was too few or too many, and nothing in terms of that. I think when a player goes down that path, you're assuming the potential consequence, and that's what's been handed down.
10-game suspension is what you expected?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't exactly sure. You haven't seen it for a while, so I wasn't sure, but that was kind of what we were thinking it would be. And Mike will serve it, and we'll move on.
How much do you want to move on from this incident, not only but as a player, but as a team, and as for baseball?
Yeah, I think everybody does. I'm sure they do. I'm sure we do. I don't even know really if we, wanted to bring it up other than it just having to. It's one of those things that how blatant it was.
I think he got caught up in the moment of competing. I think he understood, but I think he got caught up in the moment of competing, and it got the best of him.
We're not out for ticky-tack things, and we're worried about the Red Sox, and our pitchers are some of the best in the game, and they don't need. None of our guys are so-called cheating, I guess, and especially in a blatant way.
All right, so we'll move on from it. How about some great news for the Red Sox and their fans tonight? Shane Victorino playing in his first game of the season. He hurt his hamstring on the spring training finale and has been out of the lineup since, but he's back tonight, batting second in that lineup, so we'll see if he can give a boost offensively, defensively, with some energy as well. And oh yeah, the Boston Bruins are in action tonight. They'll be taking on the Detroit Red Wings in Game 4 tonight. A huge matchup against the Wings in Detroit. The Bees looking to take a commanding 3-1 lead in this first round series. Now the Wings are hoping to get their captain Henrik Zetterberg back. He's been out since early February with back problems.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a great player. That being said, it doesn't change our game plan. We respect the Red Wings as they are. They're a great team offensively, and they have a lot of firepower, and he's definitely another addition to that.
Every playoff game has to be about your team, and it can't be about the other team. We make adjustments to play against the other team, not the other individual, and so that's not going to change for us.
Well, we'll see if the Bruins can get a big effort tonight, go up 3-1. See if the Red Sox can get a big effort from Felix Dubron and Jack and Lisa. They'll have to match. It'll be tough to match what John Lackey did last night. That was overshadowed by the Pine Tar incident. Lackey was simply brilliant in helping the Red Sox to a 5-1 win. That's the story from now from inside Fenway Park, where it is cold. Let's get back to you guys.
Put a coat on. These kids today, you know how they are. All right, Danny, thank you. CBS Evening News coming up in a moment at 6:30.
And Scott Pelley joins us live from New York now with a preview. Scott?
Lisa, Jack, great to be with you in Boston. As you've already reported, 4 Americans shot today in Afghanistan at a Christian charity hospital, a well-established hospital in Kabul for many years. We're going to have our Afghanistan correspondent Charlie Daggett here with us on the set tonight to help us understand the rising number of attacks against American civilians in Afghanistan, even as the war winds down. That story and the rest of the world news coming for you on the CBS Evening News in about 10 minutes.
Scott, thank you. Coming up next here, taking down a simple message of peace. Why a banner hundreds of drivers see every day is gone for now.
New CBS Tonight.
Mycroft, what are you doing here?
Sherlock's brother returns.
Have you come back here to sleep with Watson again?
Hello?
But there's more than love.
What is that noise?
Metal striking glass. It's not an insect. It's a machine.
In the air.
Is there a bug in here?
Killed by drones.
It's like something from a sci-fi movie.
A new Elementary. CBS Tonight. Catch up online, on demand, or on the CBS app.
Spring has finally arrived, and a Subaru with symmetrical all-wheel drive can help you enjoy it. Love the road you're on in a brand new Subaru Forester, Motor Trend's 2014 Sport Utility of the Year. Drive home a brand new Subaru Forester, a top safety pick plus for only $21,995. Plus, get 1.9% financing for up to 48 months. Get a great deal and go love spring.
I must begin my journey, which will cause me to miss the end of the game.
The X1 Entertainment operating system lets you watch live TV anywhere.
Can I watch it in Butterfly Valley?
Sure.
Can I watch it in Glimmering Lake?
Yep, here too.
What about the Dark Castle?
You call that defense?
Come on. Watch live TV anywhere. The X1 Entertainment operating system, only from Xfinity.
Don't miss the final days of Sleepy's semi-annual Friends and Family Mattress event. With free delivery on Tempur-Pedic and the new Serta I-Series. Take 70% off Simmons Queen mattress sets starting at just $2.99. Plus, get 2 free pillows with our Simmons Phenom collection during the final days of Sleepy's Friends and Family event. Only at Sleepy's, the mattress professional.
Trust Sleepy's for the rest of your life.
Whether you're looking to advance your career or change your career path, Southern New Hampshire University has the online program to get you where you want to go.
I knew where I wanted to go, and they had the best support system in place to get me there.
I could actually apply everything that I was learning the next day. Southern New Hampshire University gave me the confidence to go further in my career.
This is the learning experience I was hoping for.
Fund your online graduate or undergraduate program today and see yourself succeed at smhu.edu.
It's award season, so what do Dodge and I have in common? They love a four-wheel drive. I love a four-letter word. Dodge is fabulous engineers. I mean, they're so good. I have hired them to do my next face. I used to babysit the Dodge brothers. Awful kids. Anyhow, I gotta go. My face is melting.
Hurry in. Curtains close April 30th. Well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2014 Dodge Journey SE all-wheel drive for $179 a month.
The federal government wants to crack down and start regulating those e-cigarettes. The FDA has proposed regulating electronic cigarettes about the same way it monitors tobacco cigarettes. That would let the FDA ban sales to minors, ban sales within vending machines. Last fall, Attorney General Martha Coakley and 39 other attorneys general sent a letter to the FDA asking the agency to take these steps.
There has been some concern over the disappearance of a banner calling for peace. Over the last year, there have been a few versions of the banner with a message we know so well because bombing victim Martin Richard drew it on a poster. No more hurting people. Peace. Well, sometime yesterday, the newest banner disappeared from the Savin Hill Bridge. Turns out, MassDOT removed it out of concern it would be torn up by the wind. So for now, it's back in the hands of the people who made it.
And we'll be back with more in just a moment.
Closed captioning is brought to you by 90.9 WBUR, Boston's NPR news station. News and conversation that puts context around events happening in Boston, across the country, and world.
You may have donated, thinking you were helping local veterans. But some say
they're a scam. They don't run any programs for veterans.
And the I-teams aren't. The state's even ordered them to stop asking for cash.
You're taking advantage of people that you don't take advantage of.
So who's behind this charity? And where's your money going?
There's no room for it. There's too many people that are doing good work.
Before you give another dime, the I-team gets answers tonight on WBZ News at 11. Toyota is #1 in value, but it gets better. Because we give you all new stylish Toyotas. Better yet, we give you great deals with the Toyota Gifts of Spring Savings Event. Receive the lowest ever lease on a well-equipped Corolla Sport for only $117 a month with no cost maintenance included. Plus, recent and soon-to-be college grads can get an additional $750 rebate. Hurry, on May 5th, Gifts of Spring will be wrapped up. Toyota, let's go places.
Diamonds, the jewelry exchange, has half-carat solitaires for $4.99, 1-carat $9.90, 2-carat solitaires for $19.90, and 1-carat studs are $5.99. We have most sizes and grades of GIA diamonds, guaranteed the lowest price. Buy direct, the jewelry exchange in Sudbury.
It's a real estate jungle out there. That's why we've let a lion loose in your neighborhood. But there's no need to run. This lion is on your side every step of the way. Lear Realty Partners. We're one of the largest real estate firms in New England, with over 300 experienced agents, a 15-year track record, and the latest tools, roaring into the market with a brand new name, Lear Realty Partners. The roar that opens more doors.
Spring into excitement at Foxwoods Resort Casino. Sunday, April 27th, we're giving away a Stratos Evolution fishing boat, plus 4 lucky winners. Each receive $1,000 in bonus slot play, all guaranteed. The excitement continues with superstar shows like Julio Iglesias, Bill Maher, and Alice in Chains. And don't miss Wine and Design with Drunken Palette every Friday in April starting at 8 p.m. It's spring, so bring on the fun at the new Foxwoods Resort Casino.
Seasons change, and so do styles. What never changes is the untouchable value at My Bob's Discount Furniture. 92-inch sofa, $4.99.
Matching love seat, only $3.99.
3 tables, only $1.99.
Pair of lamps, only $80.
Altogether, that's $11.77. But my package deal price is all 7 pieces, only $9.99. Thanks to you, My Bob's is 50 stores strong and growing stronger every day.
At UMass Amherst, the Commonwealth's flagship campus, we stand for progress. From the discoveries in our new life science laboratories to our graduate work in renewable energy, at UMass Amherst, we don't just think about the future of Massachusetts, we help define it.
Tonight at 11 on WBZ News, a charity collecting thousands of dollars in the name of war veterans. But what the I-Team uncovered has a lot of people asking, where is this money really going? The I-Team investigates tonight, only here on WBZ News at 11. And this MIT tradition is a big hit on campus.
Literally, the annual piano drop at the MIT campus always draws a crowd in Cambridge. Okay, students drop the piano to celebrate drop day, or the last day students can drop a course without it appearing on their transcript. And an extra treat, the kids filled the piano with candy.
One high-end piñata right there. That's what that is.
Gravity still works.
That's right.
All right. Good to see.
That does it for us. Have a great night.
We'll see you later.